Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. My name is Eugen and today I will be showing off the Wingsung 629 fountain pen, a piston filler that has quite a lot of things going on for it, in a positive way. I originally bought the fountain pen on AliExpress for around 39 Canadian dollars after a 268 discount code and with free shipping. I only received the fountain pen without the box, and I choose to go for the version with the flat ends finials and the large ink window. Much easier to see the ink level this way than looking through the slots of the other version. In theory, there are, I guess you could say, four versions of this fountain pen. One of them is this one, and then there's the other one with the flat ends but slotted ink window, and then two other versions with the round ends, and again one with a full ink window and another one with a slotted ink window. I did receive the pen with a little bit of scuffs. Not sure if it was because of manufacturing defects or seller mishandling the pen, because there was no protective box. However, I did manage to clean most of the scuffs using some semi-chrome polish, but I still have one small scratch, as you can see right here. I could definitely take that away, but I will have to go a little bit more aggressive on the sanding, and I just didn't want to do that for that tiny scratch. The rest of the pen actually turned out to be quite beautiful after doing the semi-chrome polish, or sorry, semi-chrome polish. The fountain pen, as you can see, has a beautiful classical shape. As a lot of people covered this before me, it's very reminiscent of the Montblanc classic fountain pens. And as mentioned, I choose the flat end fountain pen because I'm partial to this look. Top finial on the cap, it has this nice engraving, which I can only assume it's some sort of Wingsung logo. If you know better, please do correct me in the comments below. Going down on the cap, the finial is removable. I'm able to actually remove it, but I don't want to remove it because I just aligned the clip. Speaking of the clip, it's actually a very nice clip. Fairly usable, doesn't open that much, but it should be comfortable for a lot of pockets. And going down again more, as you can see, the cap does taper up all the way to the middle band where it says Wingsung 629 made in China, and three bands, and then taper down to the barrel. Doing a shirt test, clip slides in very nicely, no issues there. And this is how much you see from the pen once it's in your shirt. Not bad looking. Removing it, same, not an issue, no snags. The clip is stamped, however everything seems to be smooth, no issues. The barrel is mostly straight and then tapers down slightly towards the ring just before the piston knob, and the piston knob it's tapered and flat-ended, no actual finials at the end. One thing that I noticed is that this ring is slightly misaligned. The cap, it's a twist cap and it actually removes very quickly. I don't have to twist the pen a lot, and the threads are very smooth. I played around a lot with them, and they didn't bind even once, so these threads are well built. And when you remove the cap, you'll have a pretty nice taper section that flares out at the end with a nice ring and a beautiful nib that I actually like, stainless steel duotone nib. Trying to get a position without glare. There we go. Winsung tends to be one of my favorite nibs. I don't think I ever had any issues with any of their nibs, especially the number 6 nibs. I also like the feed that it comes with it. It is plastic, but at least it's not a generic feed. It's a little bit more interesting and it has a nice design and shape to it. Hopefully will function properly. Having a quick look inside the cap, as you can see from the endoscope video, things are fairly simple, not a lot of things to talk about. Everything is nice and tight, nothing wrong inside there. And we do have an inner liner cap. Going back to the fountain pen, as mentioned, the section is fairly small, not extremely short, but for my hand grip, I tend to have my thumb on the threads. The good thing about it is that even though there's a small step up between section and the barrel on these threads, they're actually not uncomfortable. I like how it is, and I actually kind of like it because it helps me with gripping the pen even better. Not that the section is slippery, actually it's quite comfy, and I grip it pretty well. My hands don't slide that easily on it. After the threads, you have the ink window. This is my favorite type of ink window because you can easily see the ink levels in there. And again, continues with the barrel, which is mostly straight. And the piston, which actually works very well. It doesn't have a lock mechanism, however, I don't remember having any issues with it. The piston is serviceable. If you have the tool, you can actually easily remove it. You don't need a special tool per se. Any tool that it's used for this type of piston will work very nicely. Actually, I did remove the piston and I managed to increase the ink capacity by a little bit. And the piston, like I mentioned, works very nicely, very smoothly, not an issue there. In my hand, the pen feels very nice. I like it. Quality, I don't think is bad. It feels a little bit light, but only because, well, it's plastic. I think the weight of the pen is perfect, and I can use it unposted if needed. And the balance of the pen, it's straight on in the middle of the pen. However, if you find it too short, the pen does post very nice and very secure. And it does not engage the piston knob, which is good because you won't twist it by mistake. And even posted, the pen, it's actually beautiful weighted. I find nothing wrong with it. I will most probably like to use this pen posted because it allows me to do longer strokes when drawing. And the weight is really not bad. Speaking of that, the balance, it's a little bit top heavy, but not by much. And since the cap is plastic, I don't find it top heavy, to be honest. Even in this position, I don't think you'll fight too much with it. Especially if you have smaller hands, I think it will still work nicely. And this is the fountain pen. Pretty nice fountain pen. I'll be honest with you, not a lot of things wrong on it. Hopefully the writing will be just as good and the nib and the feed will work properly. I haven't used it yet, so let me dive into the inking process and then we'll go to a writing sample and a sketch. For today's drawing, I wanted to use the Iroshizuku Yamabudo. I'm not sure why I want to use it. I remember doing the mushroom and it looked quite interesting. And I wanted to try it again and see how it is. Most probably I'll be hating the way it looks midway in the drawing, but we'll see. This fountain pen is fairly simple to fill up. All you have to do is remove your cap, put the piston down, all the way down, put the pen in the ink, move the piston up halfway, or at least until you see the ink coming inside the pen, then go all the way down, and then go all the way up. As you noticed, the air gap was smaller. The pen cleans up very nicely, no issues, at least with this ink. And let's see how this font pen writes. Hopefully we don't have any unpleasant surprises. I will try and write with it firstly without posting it, and then I'll post it as well. So this is Wingsung 629 fountain pen. I gotta say, this nib is beautifully smooth. Absolutely no issue. I love it how it is from the box. I did not change to this nib. Actually, it's the first time I'm actually writing with this nib. And reverse works beautiful as well. Nicely done. I should be able to do a nice drawing, unless I screw up. Alright, so the nib actually works very nicely, I like it. I did some mistakes because these pages are very fluffy now, so you press down and then comes back up, and it's annoying a little bit. But the fountain pen seems to work perfectly, no issues whatsoever, everything is beautiful, flow is beautiful. Yeah, I'm actually impressed, I like it. No line variation, as you can see. You do get a thicker line only because you press down and you put more ink on the page. But that should be perfect for what I need. Alright, let's dive into a sketch and I'll let you know what I think of this fountain pen. Another day, another doodle. I did had a little bit of regret going with this ink. But once I was into it, I actually had some fun with it. I wasn't able to shade everything as I wanted to do, but I think it turned out okay. It's interesting at least. A flower built from metal parts, well, at least in my mind, or just parts, or whatever material it might be, if not metal. Not sure about my decision to go over with a wet brush, but I think it helped a little bit to separate the flower from the background. And the fountain pen worked exactly as I was expecting it to. No issues with the flow. You will see some parts where it looks like it's skipping, but that actually was done intentionally in order to try and get some sort of gradient around the flower. It's definitely a fun fountain pen, and that extra fine nib it's frugal, so I'm gonna have some fun with it for a couple of days. What do I like about the Wingsung 629? I really like the nib on this fountain pen. To be honest, from what I remember, I think I have always liked Wingsung nibs. I don't know if they build their own nibs, but always had a good experience with them. The only thing that I don't think that I have, it's a number 6 gold nib. I'll have to look into that. Maybe those are fun as well. Another thing that I like about the fountain pen is the feeling that I have when I have it in my hand, posted or unposted. Even though for drawing I do like it posted more, only because of the extra length that it provides and a little bit of extra weight. I do tend to like pens that are a little bit heavier. And to finish it up, good working piston, serviceable, but you do need a regular, between quotes, piston wrench though. What I don't like about the Wingsung 629? Well, I like most of the things on this fountain pen. Okay, no, scratch that. I like this fountain pen quite a bit. If there is one thing that I have to complain about, is the fact that when I received it, there were quite a few scuff marks on the pen. I'm not sure though who should I blame it on, the pen manufacturer or the people that handled the pen until I received it. If it's manufacturing defect, yeah, that kind of sucks. But based on how the scuffs were on the fountain pen, I think was more of a problem with it being handled without an actual box or maybe some protective sleeve. And I guess the other nitpick will be that there was not a wrench included with this fountain pen. Would have been nice if that would have been included with the fountain pen. The good thing about it is that you can actually use other wrenches from other fountain pens. They are very similar with the ones that you use for narwhal. And basically, actually, that's what I used. I have two narwhal fountain pens, and they both came with a wrench, and they fit perfectly on this pen as well. Other than that, I have nothing to complain about. So yeah, overall, I do like the fountain pen and cannot find anything wrong with it. Everything on my copy seems to be well aligned, well, with the exception of the ring before the knob for the piston. I definitely do recommend it, but as always, keep in mind that there always can be duds. And my review it's based on this sole copy that I have. If I have missed anything or you have any other questions, as usual, leave a comment below and I will try and get to it as soon as I can. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope I will catch you next time. Wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Take care. Bye.